Hello everyone and welcome to our tutorial series on climate health data science with Python. My name is Chi and I will be your guide through this learning journey. These tutorials are part of a collaborative research project focused on the impact of climate change on public health in rural Ghana. And in our first video, I will briefly introduce the course design and how to install Python and set up everything we need for coding. This online coding series is developed for those who may not have a deep background in computer science, but are interested to explore and apply data science techniques in their fields. So whether you are a public health professional, an environment scientist, or simply just interested in learning how data can inform better decisions, these tutorials are designed to be accessible and practical for you. So we'll start with the basic of Pythons, including data types, data structures, and how to manage them efficiently. We will also talk about geospatial data analysis and explore both raster and vector data. And we'll be focusing on how to visualize your data through maps and graphs using Python libraries such as Matplotlib and Seaborn. And by the end, you will see how Python can really integrate environment data with health or household survey data to assess climate impacts. And we will be using the examples like DHS dataset and other open climate data to analyze the heat exposure variations across different households in rural Ghana. And we will do this by running the code together in the interactive platform of Jupyter Notebook. And as we go through each topic later, please feel free to pause, rewind, and replay the tutorials and practice the code on your own. Experiments with it. And don't hesitate to ask us questions if you get stuck, because this is all about learning by doing it. And right now, what we are looking at is the GitHub repo for our Python data science tutorials. And the link to our repo is also in the description below. This repo is your go-to resource. It contains all the code and data we'll need, along with detailed documentations for setting up your Python environment. And we keep it regularly updated, so you can always come back for the latest content. And before we start, I just also want to quickly acknowledge that when developing this tutorial, we leverage materials from several other data science courses from UC Santa Barbara, Columbia University, and Montana State University. And if you're interested, you can find the links in our GitHub repo. Now, the first thing we need to do is installing Python and set up the environment to run our codes. This may sound a bit complicated, especially if you're new to Python. But don't worry, the good news is that we only need to install one application to set up all of this. And the package we'll be using is Miniforge, which you can download using the link in the description below or follow the instruction in our repo. So if you go to our repo, you can see that there is a PDF file called Python environment setup. You can download this PDF file and open it. And then on the second section, installing Miniforge/Mamba, there is a link to the Miniforge repo. But what you can also do is that you can just go to Google and just try to type Miniforge. And probably the first result will just take you to the official GitHub repo. And what is Miniforge? So Miniforge is a Streamline installer for Conda and Mamba that comes with Python already included. And this means that as soon as you install Miniforge, Python is set up in your base environment and ready to use. And once we install Miniforge, we'll use Mamba to install various Python libraries and manage our environment. Both Mamba and Conda can manage these our Python environment managers. But we prefer Mamba because it is faster and more efficient, especially when dealing with multiple libraries and dependencies. And Miniforge works smoothly both on Windows and Mac system. Today, I will be demonstrating the installation on a Windows PC. And for Mac users, the steps are very similar, and you can find a specific instruction also from the link below. So here, now that we are in the GitHub repo page, you can go to the Miniforge installer. And for Windows user, you can just go to the last item, Miniforge Windows x86-64, and then you just click, and then this will start the download for the installer. I already have it downloaded, so I'll just go to my download pages, and then here, and then you can just follow all the default as showing on the wizard. I already have this installed, so I'm not going to install it here. But once it is set up, it will create a shortcut in your start menu, and then we're gonna start from there. So if you go to your start menu and if you type mini, then this will bring us to the Miniforge prompt, and now you can open it. And this probably will take a while. And if you're already in the prompt, you should see something similar to me. So here you will see like a parenthesis pod base. And this is telling you where the Miniforge is installed. So it is installed under C drive users Chilo 1. This is the base environment for my Python. And next, what we need to do is that we need to create a Python environment that we want to use for these tutorials. And you can also find the command on the instruction. And the command is mamba create -n, and then this will be the name of the environment. You can choose whatever name that makes sense for you. And for the tutorial, I'll just use Mamba create -n go tutorial. This will be the name of my environment. And then you can also specify the Python version of it. And I think now the newest version is definitely be more than 7.11. But for the demo, I will just use 7.11 version. And then you just hit enter, and this may take a while for Mamba to prepare the setup. And you can see that now it's looking for Python version 3.11, and it's taking some time to pull the Python packages from the Counterforge channel to set up your environment. And now we just need to wait a little bit for it to come. And then you can see that here is kind of pre-installed packages or libraries that comes when you create a Python environment. And what you need to do is that you just input a Y and hit enter, and then it will start the downloading and set up your new environment. And also, you can see that it's taking some time to install the packages. And now you just, oh yes. And then once I finish the installation, you can see that Mamba is giving you two comments. The first one is that to activate this environment, you can use Mamba activate geo tutorial. And then to deactivate, it's like you're entering a specific environment that you want to use. And then you can also exit the environment that you just created. And the good thing about Mamba is that it can manage different environments. So you might want to set up this environment for a specific use, but you might set another environment for another project. And now we can enter or activate the environment that we just created. So Mamba activate geo tutorial, and then you can see that the parenthesis of base changed to geo tutorial, and this means that now we are in this geo tutorial environment. Now the next thing we need to do is to install all the packages. You can see that here we have a very long list NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib until JupyterLab for all the Python environment. And actually, this is not recommended, although Mamba can install all these packages at once. But if your internet is not so stable, we recommend you to break this down, and you can just copy this. For example, Mamba install NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Shapelib. So the syntax is that Mamba install and then followed by the package name. Yeah, you just hit enter, and then this will take some time for Mamba to collect all the information. And then you can see that it's looking for NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Shapelib. And now I have finished installing all the necessary packages in our Geo tutorial environment. And the final thing we need to do is to launch Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Lab from our environment. The first thing we need to make sure is that we are in the base, we're not in the base environment, but in the Python environment that we just created. And then what you can do is that you can just type Jupyter, for example, notebook. And this will probably take a while. And let's just wait. And this will be redirect you to this kind of file tree. And here it is under the user file, the user directory of your laptop. And if you click, you can open, for example, the notebook that we have for this tutorial. And the other thing, and to exit this, you just simply hit Control and C to interrupt the server, and you will exit the Jupyter Notebook. You can also close them. And now we're back to the Geo tutorial environment again. What you can also do is that you can use Jupyter Lab. This is kind of a more comprehensive updated version of Jupyter Notebook. So here, the interface is a little bit different, and the file directory now is at the left panel, and then you can also access, and on the right panel is the Jupyter Notebook. And that's where we're gonna start from the coding from here. And we are in the Jupyter Lab. You can just create a notebook and try to run your first code. So if you hit print hello world and hit shift plus enter, and then there you go. Here is our first world. We just successfully printed hello world, and that's it. It's very straightforward to run code in Jupyter Lab. To exit this, also just put Control plus C, and this will interrupt the kernel. Once it's done, you can close the tab. And for you to check what kind of packages you have, you can also put Mamba list. And this will print all the necessary packages that you have, that you installed for your environment. So here we have hundreds of environments that we need for this working tutorial. And that's it for today. So let's do a brief recap. So we download a Miniforge, and then we set up our Python environment. We create a new Python environment and installed all the packages that we need. And also we opened Jupyter Lab and Jupyter Notebook. And in the next tutorial, I will show you how to clone or copy all the GitHub repo, all the course materials. And we're going to start with day one and start exploring what data types we have and what are different variables in Python. So thank you for watching.